Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how to play Grand Theft Auto 5 on your Apple Silicon Mac. Now that's any Mac that's M1, M2, M3, or M4. You're going to go to the first link in the description. It's going to take you to codeweavers.com, and you want to click on the Try Now button under Crossover. Enter your name and your email address here. Make sure you uncheck this box, and then you're going to download the trial. Once the trial downloads, you're going to need to install the application. It's real easy. All you have to do is basically open the download and you're good to go. Once you have Crossover installed, we're going to need to create a Rockstar Games Launcher bottle or a Steam bottle depending on where you own GTA 5. But in this case, we're going to do Rockstar Games Launcher because that is where I own my copy of GTA. You're going to click the install button at the bottom. Then you're going to go to the search, and you're either going to install Steam or Rockstar Games Launcher, depending on where you own the game. We're going to do Rockstar Games Launcher. So as you see, it pops up here, and we are going to hit install. But before we do, we're going to look at the details. Crossover will download the installer from gamedownloads.rockstargames.com. Crossover will install the Rockstar Games Launcher in a new Windows 10 64-bit bottle named Rockstar Games Launcher. Crossover will also install the additional dependencies. So we can then click install. It is going to download the Rockstar Games Launcher from rockstargames.com. Okay, so over here, we got a pop-up to install a font. You want to hit yes. It's installing more fonts. Now it wants us to install Microsoft Visual C++. Click the check mark and install. Close. Another Visual C++. Click the check mark, install, close, and here we have the Rockstar Games Launcher. So we're going to select our language, English, continue, accept Rockstar TOS, continue. This is where you can select where you want it installed, continue. Okay, Rockstar Games Launcher has been successfully installed. We can now run the Rockstar Games Launcher on close. So let's close, and now we have our bottle with the Rockstar Games Launcher installed. Alright, so here is where we can sign in. You're just going to put in your email and your password and make sure you select auto sign in. Once you've successfully signed in, you need to close and click quit all applications in bottle and then force quit. Then you need to reopen it. Okay, so once you have signed in to your Rockstar account, restarted the Rockstar Games Launcher and reopened it, you can then click the install button under GTA 5 Legacy. Obviously I already have it installed here. When I was personally installing GTA 5 on my Mac, the download had stopped multiple times, and whenever I would pause the download and try to restart the download, the Rockstar Games Launcher would crash, and I would have to force quit and reopen the launcher and then resume the download. I had to do that 3 times until it actually finished downloading successfully. But like I said, I already have it downloaded, so let's launch it. I was originally going to do this video on an M4 Mac Mini, but it would not let me install the game due to the paltry 256 gigabyte solid state drive in that computer. I should mention that this game does take up about 120 gigs by itself. So yeah, I could not download it on the M4 Mac Mini, so for this video, we're playing it on an M3 Max MacBook Pro. But here we are in game. Let's go to settings and let's mess around with the graphic settings. Alright, so for the resolution, if for some reason it will not let me change it, it also will not let me change it to full screen. So for this, we're going to do borderless window 1920 by 1536. Aspect ratio auto. VSync is going to be off, so we can see how high of a frame rate we can get. I'm going to put population density down in the middle, and as well as population variety. Distance scaling will also be down at 50%. Texture quality we're going to leave very high. Everything else we're going to do normal, and that's going to be our settings. So here's one quick look through them. Now we're going to apply changes, and we're going to restart. Alright, we are now restarted. Our settings should have saved. The only thing we have on very high is texture quality. Everything else is set to normal or off. And now let's run the benchmark. The benchmark is loading up here. Alright, starting out at Franklin's aunt's house. We're stuttering a little bit, but we are maintaining around the mid-90s, high 80s. Next part here near the Vinewood sign, we're almost getting up to 120 FPS. That's actually impressive on a MacBook running through Crossover. This isn't even a native Apple Silicon game, and we are able to pull almost 120 frames per second. Isn't Apple Silicon just incredible? Or is it just me? Here at the pier, we're getting between low 90s and low 100s, but a little stuttery. Okay, here near the water, we're getting between 100 and 118 FPS. Pretty solid, I gotta say. Oh, we're transitioning to a fighter jet here. It is a little bit stuttery. I'm wondering if I turned on VSync and I locked it at 60 FPS, if it would fare any better. But yeah, we're flying around in this fighter jet. We're getting between 100 and 115 FPS. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Ooh, when it gets near the traffic, it drops to the low 90s. Oh, I remember this one. This one is where it's gonna struggle a little bit. Ooh. What was the reason for that stutter? Lowest I've seen it is like the low 50s, but now we're in the mid 70s, so not too shabby. You could definitely get a solid 30 at higher settings, or maybe even a solid 60 at a tad bit lower settings. Lowest I've seen there was 49. What's Michael up to these days? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and this is how you play Grand Theft Auto 5 on your Apple Silicon Mac. This does support controllers, by the way. You just need to connect your controller via USB-C cable or via Bluetooth to your Mac. If you guys don't mind, you can go down below to the description and check out my Amazon storefront. I have some pretty cool gadgets on there that you guys can check out, and if you like any of them, feel free to purchase them. I will earn a very, very small commission, but it will not cost you anything extra, and you will be supporting the channel so I can continue to make videos for you guys. But yeah, as I flew out the car there, this is GTA 5 on your Apple Silicon Mac. I'll see you guys later.